Hey, 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 welcome back. Welcome to the Scorpio channel and happy almost New Year. I cannot wait for 2025. I feel like it's going to be a good year. Um, for those of you that are new to my channel, my name is Laura and I'm going to do a general message for Virgo. However, it's not really, I actually did pick a topic because I feel like, we're going into a beginning of a new year. So we want to see what the karma is that we're bringing in from 2024 into 2025. And a lot of times we can see that through our relationships. See, I like to go deep within the reading. So I look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, and I like to see how they play out as karmic themes to because it's not so much about whether the person cares about us. It's like we can feel that they care about us. That's an intuitive thing, it's a knowing thing. But why does it look like that? And why do I always seem to attract the same types of people that make me feel a certain way? And that certain way is always in a place of disempowerment, a place that is the opposite of love. Why? We like to look at the shadows. See, the shadows are parts of ourselves that we detached from, disassociated from. We don't know what that looks like. So the universe brings us someone into our life that has the same wounds, but they don't mirror those wounds out the same way that we do. So it's all about creating balance, right? That's how the universe teaches us. So, like I said, I like to dive deep within the reading. So the readings have a therapy style to them. Now, if you want to enter into winning a free reading with me, you got to like the video, subscribe to the channel, write the word of the video in the comment bar. The word of the video is always on the first card that I pull out. And it's the underlying energy that tells us why everyone's doing what they're doing. And the one thing that I wanted to start off with, like, tonight, which was different, which is what is the karma that we're bringing in? What do we need to learn? What are we supposed to be learning? And we'll see how it has played out in the real connection, and then what this person will do and how that karma is still playing out. What we can do to transmute, to integrate, and then transmute the spiritual energy, which is all about learning the spiritual lesson. See, when we're learning it, we're meaning that we're seeing the situation from a different perception. There's many different realities that play out at one time. When you are out of alignment with the laws of the universe, what you'll see is it'll manifest. So let's see, soul's calling. So I feel like you've gotten to a place within your life where I feel like it's about finding your path. It's more about finding your path. So you may be someone that feels like your job, like you're not really connected to your job, you don't really feel fulfilled within your job. You're trying to dive deep within yourself. And I feel like it's because relationships really haven't worked out. So you might have had a lot of insignificant connections. Like people that came into your life but didn't really give you anything, and you're like, why? Why does that happen? Why do I almost get like a person, or it feels like that? And spirit says, because you're incomplete. And you're incomplete because you're not, there's a part of you that made a path. For some of you, there's a part that made a path that said, I'm never going to have a relationship like my parents. And it was very codependent. So it's in a way that the universe is actually protecting you. And then because it's, again, you won't lower your standards either. So you help the universe by saying, I hold to a certain exterior and I expect you to give that back. So you're going to see people that are not on your vibration. They're either going to be they're going to be too on a lower vibration. And you say, well, why is that? Because I'm a good person. And spirit says, because it's like there's more to life than just going to work and coming home. There's a sense that you don't really feel fulfilled. And so there's just the relationship that you feel like that would fulfill you. And spirit says, no, you'll actually you'll wind up not getting what you want. You'll wind up teaching a person not to value you, which has been a theme in past relationships, spirit is saying. So, and not just relationships, I feel like more like friendships. So it's been a karmic theme that would bleed into the romantic level, because again, giving too much. See, that our soul's calling is our passion. Like otherwise we kind of feel like we're getting a little depressed. We feel like we're on autopilot. So it's almost like the karma that you're afraid is, am I going to see more of the same? Is it going to be more of the same? Is this it? This is it. Oh my God, this is it. So there's a lot of fear there. And the spirit says, that's not it. That's your imagination thinking that's it. Well, I don't see anything. I don't see anything. And so spirit's saying it's because you're out of alignment. It's like with who you are today. It's like we have to reinvent ourselves many times and become a child many times. Sometimes we grow out of ourselves. And so spirit's saying the reason why is because it brings you to your passion. Treating a person as if they're the only passion in your life means that you would give the person too much. It's again, doesn't mean to go out and date 1,000 different people, but you have to create balance where that balance is not being like so, like you're married before you're married, like codependent. In the beginning, the relationship starts up fast. So it's like you have to be determined enough. So I feel like you've started things and then you stopped. You started things and you stopped. And so what has happened is that nothing ever manifests. It's not like you don't have ideas. It's that spirit saying is that you have an unrealistic expectation of how fast it's supposed to get there. So there's a piece of your like individuality, like who you perceive you are, that's missing. And those are the wounds. So you're looking for that love through a person instead of giving it to yourself. So there's a sense of being out of balance is what spirit's saying. That's the karma. We'll see how it played out with how this person treated you, or how your past relationships have treated you. And then there's always when you change, when you learn the spiritual lesson, you change the entire dynamic of the connection. So you can be connected to a karmic and change what you're going to do, like, which is not be consistent, not always be available, give yourself a lot of the passion, the emotional fulfillment, the emotional security, that support to yourself through other channels, so that you're not, because there's parts of you that I feel like once you get into a relationship, you kind of lose yourself. And you lose yourself because it's like, well, like some of you are empaths. I feel that person and now I have a connection and I can't tell whose energy is whose. And that's because there's no balance. And that would be a problem. Thank you, Noble Goddess, and Mary Grace, and Happy New Year to you guys. So it's important. Otherwise, what winds up happening is it's almost like it's crazy drama. You get into relationships with people that I feel like have addictions, date a lot of different people. They're not really serious. It's almost like one story is worse than the next. The next person it's almost like these people that just don't have any ground. And so it's not the saying it's like you don't have a job. See, you'll be like, I have a job. I can support myself. But spirit says there's only two energies, love and fear, and how it plays out is like the lack of identity. If you just love your job, first of all, a job isn't your identity. It's like a thing that you do. You can like certain things. Thank you so much, Noble Goddess. I really appreciate that. But you understand what I'm saying? It's like you can't. You have to emotionally be able to train a person like that. You don't need that person, that you want to be with that person, that you don't need that person, because what you get is emotionally unavoidant people. And I feel like when people drink a lot and they date a lot of different people and they refuse to be in a committed relationship, you're winding up with a like an emotion, someone that's emotionally not capable of being in a relationship. And that's why they don't want to be in relationships, because they've been told this, not in those words, but as, you don't show up for me, you're selfish, you check out, like you kind of feel like you're in the relationship by yourself, unless this person is like, dating a lot of different people, talking, not dating a lot of different people, I should say, because that actually means putting in effort, but talking to a lot of people. So if you're actually with them, they'll flirt with other people, they'll create that triangular type of thing to like dynamic in a relationship. It's like I said, just a lot of drama that creates a lot of anxiety that obviously takes you off your path. And so if you grew up in that type of environment too, where there was a lot of drama, that would be another reason why you would manifest that type of person. And also like the constantly threatening that it was like gonna end. You know what I mean? Like this person like would pretend that the relationship, um that they were ending the connection or that it was over, but you could still feel their energy. They didn't really walk away. But then when you finally was like, no, it's over, this person like thought that you were playing a game. So it's like this person like didn't take the time to really get to know you again on an intimate, deep level. Like, what do you care about? What means something to you? You weren't allowed to have boundaries. You weren't allowed to have, and that's what I'm saying. This person wanted to be connected to you, but they seem to be wanting to be connected to a lot of different people. And that's what I feel like why not being balanced and not having like something that's just yours, like a connection to God is connection to everyone in humanity, right? And that's how do we get our money? We give and receive of love. That's how we're supposed to make our money. And that means through our passion, through finding our passion. But everybody knows that when you're finding your passion, it's not just a 5-hour job or an 8-hour job. It's an all day job. It's a lot of hours. It's like, think of uh, an amazing painter, the hours that it took for them to master their craft. Think of a ballerina, the same thing, the hours and the time. Is their time, their energy, their emotion. They poured their energy into their passion. When you are on your soul's path, which is what Spirit's saying, it's like there's no soul's path. So when you are actually on your soul's path, by the way, you're paying the debt to the universe. The universe says, me first. I'm a jealous God, because that's what the universe is. The universe is God. It's ubiquitous. It's prana. It's chi. It's spirit. It works through us. It's what gives us our spiritual sovereignty. So when you're like, again, on your soul's path and you're like listening to your soul's calling, you're actually listening, being guided by the higher self. The higher self is the God part of self that's felt through claircognizance and clairsentient, which is, I don't know how I knew that. I knew that you were going to call. I knew I was going to run into you today. It's like, Mom, I knew you were going to be on the phone. It's that. And it's because the person thought about you and there was emotion. ESP through the heart and mind. It's a psychic language. It transcends time and space. And it also transcends the limitations of your mind, because your mind is limited on the experiences that you've lived. So the experience that we lived creates blockages. So if you had inherited any family karma with relationships, which most of us have, well, then relationships would be seen as hard, would be seen as difficult. But when you are focused on your soul's path, then you're actually not focused that much on the relationship. And that's what creates balance. And it also gives you other opportunities because part of, I don't want to say training a person, but training a person on how you want to be treated is how you treat yourself, obviously, and also having other people come into your world and treat you nicely so that they see other people respect you and you respect yourself too. And that's the standard that you hold yourself to. Otherwise, a lot of people feel, well, I can't do that because emotionally he plays with my head. And but if that's the only source of passion, that's the only source of fun, your third eye doesn't open up for any other thing except for that maybe a connection with this person, but not what you're doing in life. Well, then you're not spiritually like sound in that area of your life, is what spirit's saying. So what you would see is money issues look like a roller coaster, and you would see like relationships like that, like this person's, which is I get people to come into my life. It's not like I don't, but it's like they're losers. Like they don't really want a relationship. And I don't really feel like I can have a relationship. And so the universe says, oh, so you're doing my job. Because God says, I'm the universe, so you're doing my job. It's not your job. It's my job. It's like it's your job is to create yourself and to find yourself and to know that you're supported. And then the universe always brings you the people that are going to grow you. And part of being in a relationship is supposed to grow you. Relationships grow you to teach you. So when it's energy like this bullshit, like drama because the person can't like isn't emotionally mature, and it doesn't matter how old they are, they just need the attention. That they're broken. They're broken. Like, look, it's like I just acted like you were like unfortunately, like I said, the crazy drama is that it's like, well, I play with your head a little bit. I play with your head, and I'm talking to like multiple people, like I said earlier. So it's like, well, what the fuck was that? Why would that person do that to me? Even if they weren't my soulmate, and maybe I thought that they were. It's again, well, unfortunately, past life karmic mates feel a lot like that soulmate, that because that love does transcend time and space. There is an ESP connection. So you're not wrong. What you don't realize is that for those many, many lifetimes, you didn't learn certain karmic lessons. So these people come back into your life to teach you the same theme, that same karmic theme. And you're like, what, that I'm an asshole? And it's like, no, it's because you gave them too much. So you actually undervalued yourself. It's like you didn't know, and it's something that happens psychically. It's something that you don't realize that you do, is what spirit is saying. And you want to know the karma that we brought in from 2024 into 2025. We need to clear this, is what spirit says, because spirit says, I live inside of you as a gift to the spirit, and I gave you free will to choose, but like this shit sucks. It's like we're not getting anywhere. Like it's a disrespect. It's a dishonor to who you are. To who you are is to who I am, because I am the God part of self, which is about unconditional love. That's what your energy is made up of. And then yes, there's an ego that you're born into families and societies that teach you that. But that's not you, those aspects of the ego. It's like the ego needs to make sure that it doesn't get stuck in a perception and get stuck in the traumas of life. But when you see things only from a limited perception, which is what you perceived as, obviously, I don't really feel like I bring that much to the table. I don't really know what I'm supposed to be doing. I try to figure out what I'm doing from the outside. And also, our school teaches us who to be, our parents teach us who to be, our friends teach us who to be, but you didn't get a chance for you to find that. And that's what Spirit is saying. Spirit saying, no, you need to do that for you, because that's how you find me, your spiritual sovereignty. And then the universe makes a way where there is no way, just for you. And that is, again, you're being guided intuitively. That's why no one can take what's really yours. It's your connection. So you, again, not having a love affair with yourself, which is about growing yourself and creating yourself and being the expression of love, to give and receive of love through what you love to do. And for all of you, it's something different, obviously. But some of you would like to do influencing, but are too shy. Some of you say, I have healing capabilities, but you don't do anything with it. So this has got to be the year that Spirit says you want to clear the karma. This isn't just about integrating. Oh no, Spirit says there's a lot of negative energy that's been built up from, that's why you brought people like that. That's energy. That's negative energy. That's negative energy. That Spirit's saying. It's like game playing is negative energy. So Spirit says, what are you going to do to integrate the spiritual lesson? Well, again, you honor yourself more, but then Spirit says, can you find your soul's calling? And you become that. It's with, again, tiny little efforts every day, consistent. It doesn't need to be a lot, but consistent, and putting the energy into yourself. And then otherwise, you will be tempted by this person, because it's not like you don't have a weak spot for them. It's not like they can't say the right thing. It's not like there isn't a connection. There is a connection. That's what you know. You're like, there is a connection, but that's what it looks like. And Spirit says, yeah, and you're never going to be able to train that ego doing what you're doing. And then eventually you'd get frustrated and angry. And then that person would, again, it wouldn't really work out, because again of the reaction. You have to be emotionally strong, as the universe is saying, oh, you're not emotionally strong, and that's because of something that happened in childhood. So we're going to look at your inner child wounds, but before we do, is that I feel like that I just wanted to see what this person, where they were, and then I want to look at the type of spiritual. I want to go deeper. So I feel like this person like acts tough. Acts as somebody that acts like they don't care. Acts like, can act arrogant, but really they're overly sensitive to criticism. And so it's like I feel like this person doesn't like played so many games, and you got emotional with this person. So then it became because it's frustrating. So you're like, well, look what the person does. Yes, but that's the game that they like to play. That again keeps you emotionally hooked and not emotionally getting anything. So then it's all about this energy, which is, that like sexual energy without that emotional connection. So you're like, I'm still not getting what I need. And the person acts like they don't care. And part of that is because of their spiritual issues. But if we go deeper and we can see maybe what type of relationship this is, what this person thinks is happening, or what's happening internally to them, because a lot of times in a relationship, things are happening, but you're not seeing them happen from the outside. It's happening on the inside, because the experience is making them look at themselves differently depending on what you do. I feel like that you just ended it because like this person was like immature. You weren't really getting what you needed. And it was like, but it was almost like it was a string of duds. That's the energy. It's like, am I that's gonna like it's like the karma is that like I just wind up with nobody ever. And like, it's just like a nothing life that I'm just going to be like, I'm worried about my future. Don't mind my dog, he's sleeping. I don't know if you hear that. Um, but it's like going to be my life, like where spirit says it doesn't need to be. But if you keep thinking like, is that my life? It'll get worse because that's what you're focused on. And where spirit says, as twin flames, we are here to ascend and help others to do the same. So it's again, there is possible twin flame, like this person has the potential in this lifetime to step it up to a twin flame level. They're a past life like karmic mate, but in any lifetime they can step it up to that twin flame level, and that's why they feel like a twin flame. But then why does it like look like that? Well, in the beginning of a twin flame relationship, they usually are a runner and a chaser, and they really are that. They have to realize the difference. They have to go through a series of things. The universe has to get involved. So we don't know that yet. But this person, again, like whether the universe thinks that it's a twin flame or that whether it's almost, I'll contact you when I'm able to. Right now my life is too complicated to bring you into it, but know that I do want to talk to you. So I feel like they are like in the midst of a change, and whenever like your twin flame comes into your life, it is like during transition, meaning like, let's just say you were married and your husband or wife died, or like you got a divorce and like that changed your life. Like it's a big transition within your life. Like it's a brand new life. It's almost like you're stepping into a brand new life that the universe constructs with that, which before that is always a dark night of the soul. So I'm feeling like you're connected to somebody that's actually in a dark night of the soul. And it's like, but it's again, they haven't stepped into that energy. So we're probably going to see a lot of like very all over the place emotions. I've been so grounded all my life, it's hard for me to trust the spiritual elements of our connection, yet I can't deny that they exist. Again, very twin flame energy. Again, somebody that's very logical and analytical, somebody that's very mathematical and structured and organized, someone that's very spiritual and creative and intuitive. And so, again, it's not that, that's your other half, but it's that the person that has gifts where you have blockages and vice versa. So when you come together you bring out the best elements, but the passion that a twin flame relationship has is hot and heavy. It transcends. It's like it's that fire that burns through those spiritual blocks, and those spiritual blocks is mainly because that twin flame is going to trigger every single wound that you want to rip that person's head off their shoulders because of the things that they do. And just like, and that's really what spirit's saying. Yeah, that person is coming to your life to show you all that needs to come out. That's going to trigger it's going to be a harder relationship. It's not an easy relationship. It lasts not very long, usually. I mean, you gotta look at like Tina and Ike, Sonny and Cher, like, and the list goes on of those, how they're, the passion and what they birth is great, but they're tumultuous and horrible relationships, so that's what you're seeing here. That this person is, of course, in their ego, being like, I don't even know what a spiritual thing is or whether it exists. So I feel like they're asking people and trying to find out about soulmate relationships, because I don't think that this person ever really cared or like ever had a connection like this before. It's not that they never had passion before, but they've never had where they're like, I'm not talking to you. You irritate me. It's like, but I'm still thinking about you. But I'm thinking about you and you make me think about myself. And that kind of pisses me off because I really didn't think that I was going to be connected to you because, I was here for a good time, not a long time. You were just a conquest. You weren't really like anything. You were just that. It's like, and so Spirit says, well, that person got like that because they didn't believe in love. It's like they got away from themselves. We don't know what their wounds are, but we ask, why, how did they get like that? And Spirit says they have a lot of spiritual blocks, you know, but just know your blocks are like the same. They just are like channeled out differently. I wish I could say what I really feel. Someday I will, but right now I'm afraid to be myself. And that's this person doesn't have a strong sense of self. You know, it's not our relationships are a sign of how well we are connected to ourselves. So when we don't have a lot of friends, it's there. That's a sign. If we're not connecting well, it's because we feel as if that there's something wrong with us. But really, what you see is that the person doesn't really put that much effort in. And it's not that they don't try and create a facade and try and, connect with what they have, but it's almost like this person is not authentic. And when it's not authentic, it doesn't stick. You know what I'm saying? Like when you meet with someone that you're like, oh, like I just connected with that person. Like I had a good time. I felt like I knew them for years. Like you wouldn't get that energy from this person. And because of that, they feel inadequate. They feel like, so they're not going to be able to speak their truth. So if asking them to speak to you and be transparent with you, well, that we're not going to see that. They're not evolved. Now, spirit helps us evolve by bringing us our relationships. We incarnated together to clear specific patterns from our ancestral bloodline, and that's why you get your twin flame, because those wounds are deep. Those wounds are like, no, they're a part of me. That's who I am. But the spirit says that you're not that. It's like, and that could be, well, my great grandmother was divorced, and my grandparents were divorced, and my parents were divorced, or they had an alcoholic family, and they had an alcoholic, and they had a drug family, or this tragedy happened, this tragedy happened, this tragedy happened. So you make it your story. And so Spirit says that's the ego part of self. And the ego part of self grew up in a certain environment, and because of that environment, formed habits and behaviorisms that are out of alignment with their true self, their higher self, what's best for them. It doesn't mean that they didn't form these behaviorisms when they needed to in survival, growing up in the ancestral stuff. They had to, but it's not working for them anymore. Like it's actually blocking them from receiving love. So you're like, I'm getting somebody that's like an avoidant, and this person, like, that person's an avoidant, and you're like somebody that's emotional and feels like not heard and feels like needy, because even though you're not needy, but you're not getting what you need. And so Spirit says it's again, part of that is that, like feeling like I can't have love, or I can't have, or money is difficult, where all that is taught behavior. And Spirit says, yeah, because your great grandparents lived through a recession, and back in the and during the Depression, and and there really was no food. And so now your mother did that, now you're doing that, and Spirit says where that the world's abundant. The world's abundant. It's like, and you say, well, there wasn't any food, and Spirit says, well, you guys could have grown food. Many people did, and they saw that the world is abundant with food. It's like Spirit says you have everything that you need. It's the illusion that there's not enough, that you're not enough, that you're not good enough because you're not on your soul's path. And you're going off to work, and it's a shit job that you're not really into, and hey, the boss is on my ass again because I forgot this, I'm tired, it's like I'm trying to hold it all together, I got kids, I got a family, I got this, I got that. And Spirit's like, that is like, it's almost like the like I why is it hard? It's the illusion that is hard in spirits is because you're not being led by your soul's path. It has to be something that you're passionate about. So a lot of you like, oh great, so now I can't do it. And spirit always says there's a lot of hours in a day, so you're not at work all day. It's like do what you love again, and it's a root chakra in balance because that's being in the moment and creating yourself. Is that being mirrors? So twin flame being mirrors for each other makes self-love so important. I wish I was there to love you, but if not, I want you to love and nurture yourself. So understand that it doesn't mean that person actually does have a lot of love. The twin flame does have a lot of love, even if it's unexplained deep love. It's love where you're learning this shit really is unconditional. I really have no control over it. I really love this person, but this person does not deserve anything. They deserve nothing. But it's like, I love this person. And Spirit says, because you can't control love. You were brought up in families that were taught that you weren't loved. It's again, and that love was conditional because again of the family dynamics, which is again how the parents dealt with stress and what was going on. Where the spirit says so you were taught that love is conditional. Love is not conditional. Real love is unconditional. And because it's again, you love that person and you're like, and it's like, there's not one damn reason why I should love that person. That person doesn't deserve anything. That person, if anything, they deserve to be put on the electric chair, for how they made me feel, or what they did. And Spirit says, yeah, because they're digging up all that pain. That they wouldn't be able to do that. It would make you feel that way if it wasn't there, is what Spirit is saying. But it needs to come out. And it needs to come out because it makes you feel separate from unconditional love, which is me, which is God, which is the universe. It makes you separate, makes you feel separate from connecting and to manifesting. And Spirit says you're there to be an expression of love. It's like our mission is to be unconditional love. Listen, I can't make this shit up. Clearing our programming is a necessary part of opening our hearts, and that's what this relationship's about. Which means it's a hard relationship. It means that if we can pull cards, we're going to see the most shittiest cards, like that this person does, like things that like are really hurtful, things that you would be like, and it's just a runner chaser dynamic, and a lot of people can't handle this type of relationship because it is like that. It's like a crazy relationship, and because remember that especially if that person is just about ready to step it up into their divine being, it means that they're not there. It means that they're on a low vibration still. So the changes that are happening in this person's environment are what probably humbles this person. Like you said, there's always a dark night of the soul where the person is humbled, and that's because the ego has to come down. It's like that. So it's almost like Spirit saying, you see, because they were taught love was conditional, they overcompensated it within their behaviorisms or undercompensated, one or the other. But they weren't coming from their true self, their higher self. So they were either breadcrumbing or love bombing, and it was neither one of them was honest. And because it wasn't coming from that, it's they racked up that karma, and that karma is, see, love isn't real. Love isn't real. But that's because of what they did, and it's from what they were taught. Now it's all they're not conscious of it. That's why the universe has to get involved. Family, ancestral karma, it means you were born into it. This is what you were taught. This is what you know. You don't know anything else. So the universe is like, we got a problem on aisle 4. We have to like show up there for these people. It's like because this is all they know, and it's like, and they're just repeating the same karmic cycle over and over and over and over, and it's like it's got to stop. So what can stop it is passion, is fire. Yeah, this person didn't give you, they ignored you, and that's what I was like, wanted to see what your triggers are. So it's like, I'm gonna act like I don't really care about you. Why? Because I can't really show that I'm vulnerable. Can't do that. I'm going to act like I don't care about you. And that'll actually get you to give me more. You know why? Because I feel the connection that we have. And you kind of let me know that you have feelings for me. I really like those feelings. I feel like this person was really immature. And I want to see how much more like you'll give me, like feed my ego more, feed my ego more. And the thing is, you were like, nope. know? And you were like, and you moved away, and you were like, and you never gave me an apology. Like you want to play games. Like what you were doing was not so much like, you're like, I don't want the games. But it's like you're treating me like I'm a conquest. It's like you got me, now you're jerking me around. Now it's like once you outsmart me, or you get bored or whatever, then you're gonna be on to the next. It's like, I'm not participating in this. It's like this person knew damn well why you walked away from them, and what they did is, instead of apologizing, they were like, no, I can pretty much feel like you have feelings, so I'm gonna use time. It's like, I'm gonna like talk to other people. I'm gonna act like, everything's fine. I'm gonna act like there's not a problem in the world. And you're gonna come back to me because you let me know that you had feelings for me. And understand, you only made this person you only made this person comfortable in how you felt about them, because they came across as if they were wounded. But that's their little skit that they like to play. It's like, well, I've been in a bad relationship, that past relationship, or relationships don't really work out for me. Or, I went through, like, again, coming in handicapped. So it's, again, which is their little thing, but, that acted like a conquest. Like I said, that you were like part of like one that they did, one of many, I feel like. However, like I feel like they're seeing things from a different perception now. However, it's like when you were in the connection with this person, because you had expectation, and understand, it's the way that this person came in, it's the dynamic that they set it up as. Then what happens is, it's like this person's like, I can't breathe, because they feel like, okay, now that they came in, they set it up to be a certain way. They come, and mainly so that you'll lower your, guard down, and won't have like boundaries up to get what they want. And then when obviously you're like, okay, feel like I'm in a relationship, then they feel like that they can't breathe. It's like they're gonna make it like that. So they go from one extreme to another extreme. But you didn't tolerate it. Like you said, you were like, I didn't get an apology, and I expect you to be accountable. It's like those are two things that you're not going to get over on me. So I feel like you have a higher vibration, not uncommon with twin flame relationship either. And it's usually the the feminine energy that is on a higher vibration. And why? Because that logical, analytical side is not spiritual. So it only cares about self. It's good with the physical elements of the physical world, is part of the ego, right? The physical world, everything is of that. But it's limited. It's not of the spiritual realm, which is compassion, it's sensitivity, it's intuition, it's all those other energies. So this person's approach is that they're going to be on a low vibration when they come in, because spirit says, I want the masculine energy to raise their vibration, which means they have to let go of their ego. And so understand, they will eventually shoot themselves in the foot and really like screw this relationship, as like a dumpster fire, like that's how bad they're going to screw the relationship up. It's like, because hey, you're like 15 other people that I'm talking to, I'm not really paying attention to you. It's like when this person met you, so you did that to this person, which is good, and you put the and you're being called to put the energy into yourself. Do I feel like this person will come back? Oh, I want to pull a few more cards to see what's said, and then we'll see what this person's going to do. Because if it's a real twin flame relationship, they will. What the universe is saying is like the mission is all about clearing those ancestral karmic patterns, and understand whether you're with your twin flame or not, you both create awareness. You both made an impact on each other's lives, which make you look at yourselves and like what life could be, and about what, especially if this person didn't treat you right, they're definitely looking at what life could be like. Risks. So again, this person likes to still take risks. And I feel like they've already, so some of you people are connected to someone that has either been married before and has kids and has a lot of responsibilities, and it feels like they have burdens. So they almost feel like they can't do anything. They feel like I'm connected to somebody which is probably a karmic that is really angry with this person, and is like, well, you never really were accountable in this relationship, because it's not like this person just changed. It's like they still want to take risks, and they don't really want to be held accountable. This is what it shows. It's like, so what happens is they have a karma. Now, does that mean that they don't care about you? No, with caring about you and their issues are two different things. But it just shows that if you were to get close to this person, that you would always feel like as soon as you got close and comfortable, they would kind of like not let you get close and comfortable, because they're not close and comfortable with themselves. And it's because you're not close and comfortable with yourself. Its spirit is pretty much saying. So that needs to be transmuted, because as you elevate, this person will elevate too. So it shows, like, again, that a lot of times in twin flame relationships, during separation is when you do most of your healing. But it's like the fact that you can still feel the spiritual connection. You can still feel that love, even though you're not talking, you're not feeding it, you try and forget it, you try and, suppress it. The relationship makes you angry, the relationship triggers you, that you find that you're ruminating like a crazy person over the same exact story. And it's, again, but you still like care about that person, you still love that person. And that's the whole point that spirit is saying. It's like, yeah, this person, they want romance, they want good stuff, they're going to elevate, they really are going to elevate. It's like, because it's like perfection. There is no perfection. But when the twin flame connection first gets together, it really feels like if there's a lot of romance, and it's like aphrodisiac. It's like almost like there's a lot of passion. It elevates the mood, your mood. So it's very healing. And it's that love that you didn't feel like you could actually have, that where this person is, again, surrendering their ego. And again, like to manifest, it's like when it says like success, money maker. Okay, so whatever you're going to put your energy into, I feel like this person's going to help you, and it's going to be very successful and very prosperous. Like you can't transmute negative energy with just a relationship. And the reason why is because you wouldn't learn all the spiritual lessons of working together, learning how to compromise, learning how to forgive, to surrender, to let it go. I mean, those are like big spiritual things that you learn with your twin flame that you don't want to let go because you're like, no, you pissed me off. Do you know what you did? Because understand it's not just what that person did, it's what everybody else did too. But you took it and you took it and you took it and you took it. And because you took it, there was a part of yourself that dummied down or settled for less or has a little low self-esteem, and the higher self, that God part of yourself, says that doesn't belong to us. That's not exactly who we are today. It's like, but you wouldn't be aware of what that was unless this relationship came into your life and they triggered you to make you feel a certain way. And you'd be like, why would you make me feel that way? If you're my person, you should know. It's like, or you do know, but why would you purposely do that? It's like, well, because I'm not emotionally intelligent. You're not getting someone that's emotionally not intelligent, which means you're getting it like somebody that went through trauma, maybe at a really young age. They were a boy and they were told, boys don't cry. Like, don't show your emotions. Like don't show weakness. Don't show vulnerability. Like, it's the times, the environment that teaches. So again, they have to unteach. The universe conspires to make the situation play out. So I feel like you're in a place right now where you're fine. Like, and that's the thing. It's like, this person's not fine. You're fine. You weren't fine. I feel like you weren't fine when this person did what they did at first. But now you're fine because you're like kind of just like happy with yourself, like comfortable with yourself, like, but being alone. But it doesn't mean that you're fulfilled. There's safety and fulfillment. Very different. It's like, it's okay. It's like, I'm not living my path, but it's I'm not out on the street. Like, I'm happy. I have gratitude for what I have. So I feel like you're okay. You feel like you're supported, but you feel like that, like right now, the situation, the relationship is in limbo, and it is in limbo because you're not seeing anything. You're not seeing anything because this person is going through their self actualization, where so you're not doing anything. You just kind of feel like you're suspended with this situation. Like, okay, we're still connected. I can still feel you. It's like, but you're not doing anything. I don't see you doing anything where they're like just gonna like energetically hold on to me, like or keep tabs on me. Like what is that? I feel like the person wants to talk to you, but they're not confident. They're not confident to. So remember, a person comes into your life, like you showed this person things about themselves that made them also feel insecure. We're talking about how it made you feel. But again, it's a two-way street with the twin flame connection, you know. But understand within 1 to 3 months, like I feel like this person is going to re-enter back into your life. And if they're a twin flame, they will like come back into your life. And they'll come back a lot more humble than what they were. Yeah, like they again be like master themselves. Like they're almost like more disciplined with themselves, more like whatever they're going through. They're almost like, again, whatever's going on in their life that they're like, I can't reach out to you because it's too chaotic in my life right now. It's like they are humbled. They come back more like, again, I always feel like this is someone that masters themselves. I say masters themselves because they command presence. It's like they're not somebody. They're coming back as a more like instead of a page, they're coming back as a king, or they're coming back as an emperor. You know what I mean? Coming back like as a different person, which they would have to do if they were a twin flame. They can't come back like as a page's energy, someone that's going to breadcrumb you. They'd have to come back as someone that's confident, someone that is, and so, you know, and they'd have to actually believe in the impossible, and you'd have to believe in the impossible too, because you'd be like, this person that would never come back into my life because they're so stubborn, they're so stuck in their ways, and you would actually have to feel, I want this person to come back, but I actually don't want this person to come back. I want this person to come back. I really don't want this person to come back, because there's like this person is triggered a lot of different emotions inside of you. They make you feel not really safe. They make you feel like you're afraid that they're going to do the same thing that they did. So usually with a relationship like this, it teaches us again to you, if you want the relationship, you have to believe in the impossible. But it doesn't mean that you lose yourself in the relationship. It means that you continue on your soul's path. You continue to create yourself. And in creating yourself, like I said, it's an all day, all night procedure. It's like, it means like if you decide to create a business, then you got to network, you got to advertise, you got to become the face for it, you got to interact, you got to meet people. It's word of mouth. You got to become it. You got to become what you love. And then through those authentic connections, because again, now you're doing what you love, you're embodying what you love, and then you're connecting to other people that have an interest to what you do. It's a grounding thing. And it's one where you're actually transmuting that negative energy. You're turning that energy into like that's detached and disassociated, which is an element that is just undeveloped aspects of yourself that you think are incomplete or worse, like defective, because it's like, well, that part of me doesn't work very well. It's like, or it doesn't work. My relationships just don't work, or my finances just don't work. Whereas spirit says that it all could work, but you have to get into your soul's path. You're complicating things with the I'm not enough, I'm not good enough, I don't have, that's ancestral bullshit. And it's because they grew up they grew up in depression, they grew up in slavery, they grew up in and the list goes on and 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 on. Thank you, Mary Grace. Understand that. It's like you're living, that's what happens. And when your parents live that way, you become conditioned to live that way. So the universe says, well, I have to bring like situations into your life that are going to teach you, that are going to make you look at things from a different perception. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't. This person did not until they met you. And it was mainly just because you were like, oh, I'm not playing this game. Whatever this game is here, you will not ruin my peace. You will not, it's like, and I feel like it's because whatever you're doing, like, in fact, like this person may even contact you within a few days. Something big is going to happen for you in a few days. It could be like a promotion. It could be like starting something new where you're going to get noticed. There's something that happens for you within a few days. So I feel like that begins to make changes within your energy, and changes is now you're not going to be so focused on this person. It's like once you cut that psychic cord a little bit from your twin flame karmic mate, like when they're right on that verge to crossing into that, that twin flame, to actually stepping into the divine counterpart, it's like it's helpful to cut your energy off. And so spirit is saying, well, something's going to happen within your life, that the universe is conspiring to make this person move a little faster, to show a little something that happens for you that you might get attention for. Now that makes this person nervous because, hey, you're getting attention and this person is not giving you attention. And they consider you like again, there's family, there's support, there's like, they know that they have to be loyal. They know that trust is the issue, but you feel like home. I don't want to say family because it's like they can see themselves having a family with you for some, or again, if they not children, still combining families, if that's what it is, but still that you're a family, that you feel like home. They can see that. They trust you. But I also feel like it's unlikely for them to really, they're not going to become, if you're expecting this person to change 100% and be emotionally transparent with everything, and that's unlikely. So you do have concerns, and you do have to watch out, because before you get into a relationship with them, before you're fully invested within yourself, in at least starting on your soul's path. And like I said, because this person would help you, and that might be they're the one that comes in with the ideas, and maybe you're the mathematical and structured one, or maybe you're the one that has ideas, but you can't like figure out how to make it into a business. There's something, again, that you need to at least start, is what Spirit's saying, because you need to create balance within your relationships. Otherwise, you'll give too much. And part of you standing like strong within your divine being, to be, whether that's divine feminine or divine masculine, you have to hold to your boundary. And if you're someone that's highly sensitive, which we saw, then you're not going to have balance. You're going to feel what this person wants and give too much, and again fall prey to them emotionally, and then feel like, well, I can't have, because, well, remember, they're going to try to manipulate you to do what is most comfortable for them, just because divine counterpart, they're ready to step into it. But Spirit says ready to step into it doesn't mean that they're coming in even pretending that they know how. It's, I'm going to come in the way that I would always come in. And that's like, if something costs like $10, maybe I'm going to give you $5 back. And because you're an empath, and, I'm an empath too, but I can feel like I can get a little over on you. And $5 is for your best good, that you need to say, give me that $5, that extra 5. Like that person would laugh. It's like, and you'd be like, what, they'd steal from me? Not really steal from you. But I want to say, like, make you strong within yourself, like your boundaries. Like Spirit would say, you're too soft. You're too, like, you don't set you. If this person says, "What do you want to do?" You might say, "Nothing. I don't care. Whatever you want to do." Where it's, no, I'm going to do this. Where Spirit says, like, you need to like command like that, because you won't always be that soft and overgiving and overdoing type person. It's like, because life changes us, and when you're with someone over time, you don't stay the same. You want more. And so what happens then is that you can't get more. So you're like, well, I get into a relationship, and then the relationship gets to this part, and then it doesn't work. And that's Spirit saying, because there's no ground, you have to, again, be on your soul's path, feeding yourself on an emotional level. Now, that might mean that you don't make money from your soul's path in the beginning. So yeah, guess what? You have to work another job. And then spirit would say, well, you have to work that job because you're not balanced. You would waste a lot of your time. You need to learn how to work with money. You need to learn how to work with time. You need to structure yourself. You need to, so you're getting what you need. Now, that doesn't mean that you like the experience that you're living, but it's also to know that no experience is forever, that you can transcend the limitations of your mind, which automatically change your experience. But you have to believe. You have to, again, start with the creative mind. This is how people that live in poor countries become ambassadors. This is how people that, they said were never going to do anything with their life transcended. People like Helen Keller and other people that you'd say, well, that person shouldn't have really did that well. But look, generational wealth for years to come. But that's not what they were saying about Helen Keller in the beginning, meaning everybody has purpose. Soul's purpose, soul's calling is your soul's purpose. Spirit says you're down there to remember what yours is, not lose yourself in the relationship. Otherwise, then there's always a sense of that, oh, the relationship's going to be bad. I'm afraid of betrayal. That, like, so this person has already shown me that they're capable of that. They were a player. I was a conquest. Remember, that's, the way that they acted. And Spirit says, so there's a sense of, I can't trust this person. But then Spirit says, trust comes from trusting yourself, not trusting this person. The person really has passion for you, and they're ready to step into that divine counterpart, which they are, because they're coming back. Spirit says that then the karma that you would bring into 2025 is, I would handle the situation like I always did. And Spirit says, well, that's a wrong answer. And it's a wrong answer because, you're not going to get good results. And if someone new comes into your life, well, you're going to just get more of the same, because that's what's been happening. That energy where you're like, I just get players. I just get people that are not really serious. It can't really happen. And Spirit says it can happen, but you're giving more to that than you. And what's happening is, you, out of your third eye, you're like, I just can't see it. I can't see it ever happening. It's not really working. And Spirit says it doesn't work that way. Like, it doesn't work from the outside in. It works from loving what you do, loving yourself, being interactive, and just having like a love affair with the universe, seeing where you're going, what you're doing, new opportunities that come because you're engrossed in what it is that you're doing. You're passionate about it. It's like, that's how life happens. If you meet new people, you interact with people that are going to tell you about going to different places, and you have to go to those places to the ones that at least intuitively call to you to learn. To deep that Spirit saying there's not enough new experiences, family patterns. How do people keep coming in with these ancestral patterns? That's what this is, Spirit saying. Ancestral patterns, family karma. How is that? Didn't create enough new experiences. That's what it is. Now the illusion is, oh well, I didn't create the same experience as my great grandmother that came from Puerto Rico, or that came from Spain, or that came from China, or that came from it. But my parents came here to the States to give us a better life. Well, let me tell you something. They worked hard, and that maybe certain opportunities weren't there, but their dream was also to come to America. Their dream also was to have a family, to have the experience for a better life. We didn't really know what kind of life, but we just thought that it was going to be better, and it was better. We were free. That's all that our parents thought, and they were like, oh, and we had some kids, and so we wanted to. Now that we're in America, let's have a good life. What does having a good life mean? Let's see. Oh, that means that we go to college. We get. Oh, we should. That means you get to live in a nice house and drive a nice car, and this is what it means. So again, from the outside, but Spirit says also healing and integrating on the inside, that what's important, that we never lose our structure for the what love is, the people in our life, that the things in life are not what's important, that it's the people in our life and the unconditional love that we have for those people that inspire us to become the better version of ourselves. That's what a twin flame does. It's, wow, this person's my muse. They showed me something different. I didn't like it. I didn't like it one bit. Who the fuck are they to come into my life and show me that? And I wasn't looking for that person. And they're not even my type, by the way. I don't even like that type of. I don't like bald people. I don't like blondes. I don't like brunettes. I don't like that type of haircut. I don't. That's not my person. But Spirit's saying, it's not up to you. It's not up to you. Surrender, 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 let go. And so when we don't let go, then we're at a low vibration. It's like that's why twin flames, it's like the walk of balance. And so, and then we do have danger, and it is a bad situation if we're not balanced in the situation, in that connection, because it's a walk where we're always like striving to be the best version of ourselves, and that person is also, but there's love for each other, but there's love of self. And it's teaching to love oneself, holding to a certain standard. And a lot of times in the beginning, when we're connected to like a past life karmic mate, they create the facade that they have that life, that their life is all together, where their life is not all together. I understand that. So that's what the soul relationships are all about. It's not an easy relationship, but we can see how the certain karmas would definitely play out within 2025, because it's like that soulmate connection. Well, shit, it transcends time and space. So what's another year? It's like, you knew me from 10,000 years ago. It's like, so yeah, here I am again, another year, and here you are still another year, and you're still not in the same place. You're still not doing the same thing. Well, it looks like this person is actually doing it. And it's mainly, why? Because you're over it. That's why. The runner chaser dynamic, it doesn't mean that you didn't hold on for a long time. You held on for a long time. And the universe was like, I guess, like, the person's still holding on. Well, okay, then let's like prolong it a little bit longer. Let's prolong it a little bit longer. Oh, that person needs to learn patience anyway. They need to learn patience anyway. So let's turn it up a little bit more. So it's like, finally, you get to a place where you're like, fuck this. It's like that, like, you don't do anything anyway. It's like you're not adding to my life. And Spirit says, yes. And what's supposed to be in that place? Are you creating yourself, becoming yourself? Again, having a relationship with, then you cut your energy off. And then that person's cocky. Oh, they held on to me for so long, that twin flame. Oh, I could feel it. They just love me. Eventually, they're going to come back, eventually, until they're like, oh, you're not there anymore. Oh, you moved on. Then now look what I've done. Look what I'm being forced to look at. But also other factors in this person's life are collapsing also, because the universe is like, and yeah, you can take that, and you can take that, and you can take that, and you can take all that, because you were treating people like they were conquests. So you got that for that person, that person, that person. That person was stupid, and all of them were stupid for being with you, and they have to pay their karma. But I'm the universe. I collect my due regardless. I'm like the tax collector. I always get my money. I always get my karma. And you did not treat all those people well. So we're going to humble you. So that you got to surrender that ego. Become, a little bit more humble. It's again because you're distorted on how you're viewing things. And so we have to say, well, what are the spiritual lessons? What am I supposed to be doing with this time? And it's not all the time spiritual blocks. Sometimes we find our spiritual gifts within our twin flame. A lot of times we do. Like I said, they can bring out the best in us. They could also bring out the worst in us because of that passion, that fire, right? Play. So the spirit says, when you didn't have a childhood, right? So when there's trauma or when a parent's like, no, you're going to do this, and they're controlling. I love you as long as you get good grades, as long as you do this, or the perception is that. Then what happens is that we're not as free as children to go out and explore, to just try new things, and we're not as friendly, and we're a little bit more guarded and a little bit more shy and not as open as we are. So the spirit says, as an adult, you still have to go out and play. And playing is, hey, I always wanted to go to that comedy club, or I always wanted to try comedy, or I always wanted to, like, take singing lessons. I always wanted to play that instrument, or connect. It's to do. It's part of it is that, and then there's also the lack of connection, emotional connection to other people. And that happens all the time. Well, listen, I work from 5 to 10, and I work in an office with a bunch of jerks. They all talk about each other and hate each other. So, a lot when spirit says, well, what about after work or before work, or at least once a week, or at least what happens is that people get into the humdrum of just not. And that also, then they want to be in a connection. So spirit's saying, you need to be in this energy of play first. And it's, again, hobbies, interests, things that will grow you, open up to new things. So playing, always able to cleanse yourself, and that's, again, a spiritual gift. It's like, but I also feel like you're needing to clear yourself of, again, that, like, whatever those past perceptions, again, whatever you, ancestral karma, family karma, whatever you were taught, whatever the environment taught you, which is you're not enough, you're not good enough, you don't, whatever lower energy spirit saying, you got to clear that shit. And you clear it by playing. Because in playing is where you find yourself. You're like, hey, I never knew that I would be good at Tai Chi. I never knew that I was good at cooking, or I didn't want to go to cooking class. And then I sat next to Mary Jane, and I don't really like to have friends. And it's like, she talked my ear off the whole time. And I don't really want to be friends with Mary Jane. But you know what? My car broke down. Mary Jane drove me home. She's actually a nice person, It's like spirit says, I'm always going to bring you people, situations, and experiences that open up your mind and your heart to help you change, to help you evolve, to help you let go of whatever past things that you needed to create in an environment. So if you grew up with it, like an abusive parent, or were in a toxic relationship, understand by interacting in life, that's a new way, because you get to see yourself differently. You get to see how you're being received differently. This is how you cleanse yourself. It's like that you get good energy for yourself. Support. So there was a lack of support. And so Spirit's saying you can't go back in time. You have to reparent yourself. You are that support. The universe supports you, though. And you'll see that, because when the student is ready, the teacher appears. The universe says, don't do my job. Do your job. Be like childlike. Go out and play. Find yourself. And I will conspire to bring you what you need when you find yourself. Because again, if you can imagine it, you can create it. The kingdom of heaven's inside of you. Imagine it, and you can quantum jump into the reality. But that's why also giving it, because you need to recondition whatever abuse you've been put through. And the abuse could have been through parents. It could be through a past relationship. It's, and who hasn't been abused? I mean, whether it's through a job, through a relationship, through a parent. So it's, again, you have to cleanse that energy, and you have the potential to do so. It's like and there needs to be desire to do so. And the Spirit says, No parent is coming. The support that you seek is within inside of you, and that's also through the universe. By going out and playing, you'll connect to other people that help show you support, to give you the support that you never had. And it's again to clear the frustration. It's like life is difficult. It's like why is all relationships like this? It's like it's making me feel as if I can't have. And spirit says that you can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have to see a different perception though of yourself. That's what's looping. And what's looping is that. And then what happens is that maybe you give in and self-sabotage. You could be like, well, I wind up self-sabotaging over time because it's like I give in. I know that the person isn't, but it's like there's nothing else out there, And it's like where spirit's saying that's not true. It's again, but you're self-sabotaging yourself because the belief is that where instead you have to do things differently. Spirit says when you do the same thing the same way, you get the same result. And that's what you would again be bringing in to this time, because this person's not going anywhere. It would just be more of the same. But when you cut your energy off, that's like when this person really, like, I feel like comes back into your life. And it's like, and that's when it's like you're able to then say, this is what you did. This is how you did it. This is what I require of you. That's when you'd have to lay your boundaries. That's when you would have to, again, be clear. And you don't, it's again, the person needs boundaries. It's like, and no, they're not going to like it. That's the whole point. You're giving them shit that they don't like. It's like they don't want it that. No, it's the ego. It's like, but it doesn't matter that you don't like it because I'm training you on what I like. And that's what it's like. You're not saying it, you're commanding it through like your action. And it's like, I'm too busy. I have other things going on. You're not the only thing in my life. You didn't earn that part. You didn't earn that seat at the dinner table. You get to sit at the kiddie table. That's where you sit. Actually, you don't even get to sit there. You don't even get a seat at any table. You have to earn that. And that's through how you're treating me. It's through, again, how much time you invest in me. Because how much time you invest is how open your heart is to me. Otherwise, I'm just another conquest. Here for a good time, not a long time. And that's been what the karmic theme is. Where spirit says, no, you have to give yourself the love. You have to at this point. And then the universe conspires to do the rest. That's how you will transcend the limitations of your mind. And then spirit says one last message from the universe, and that's attention. And it says, be attentive to all that manifests within you, meaning every feeling, every emotion. When negativity rises within me, I transform it into light, which is what the twin flame relationship's about. Again, love and hope. My love for others is unconditional. I forgive. Again, what happens is, again, being taught in childhood that love is conditional. Well, again, there's a lot of, I don't forgive you because it's like, because it wasn't supposed to be like that. There's a lot of hard feelings, and spirit says, oh, that has to go. That right there, that spiritual block, that's really toxic. It's ancestral. It's like there's anger and bitterness. So you have to forgive. My desire to improve is constant. I am firm, brave, and hardworking. So spirit says it's about keeping your attention on the feelings and the emotions and the things that are arising you. And when you say, you did this to me, or this problem I'm still having is because of you. What you did, you taught me that I wasn't good enough. You taught me I wasn't lovable. You taught me that because you never had any money, now I don't have any money, or that I wasn't good enough, or whatever that story spirit says, that's what they were taught. It's, again, they were taught that that's the way that they dealt with anger. You have to transform that. And it's by forgiving yourself first and foremost, and then forgiving that family. Forgiveness is big. And then put your attention on again what you want to grow, what you want to become is, and understand that is how you transmute those wounds. That's how you evolve into a higher state of consciousness of unconditional love. I can forgive you because I can see how you got stuck in anger, because I got stuck in anger at you guys, at your mom or at your dad or at a sister or at a brother or I can see that because I was mad at you forever. I wasn't never letting it go because this, my life. And the Spirit says, your life is not that. They gave you the lesson of who you think you are, but that's not the lesson of who you truly are. Understand, only God displays His glory through the most broken. So understand, we get the people in our life that show us that, and they can show us that with unconditional love. And that's what this story is about. And it's a beautiful story for New Year's Eve. So remember, we want to definitely cleanse the energy of 2024, where we do not, again, just date people here for a good time and not a long time. And we've got to put more energy into ourselves. I would make a little altar. I would set small term goals and long term goals, and and it's just little bits of effort every day. And those little bits of effort, they begin to multiply. And that's when you get to see the universe conspire to bring you other things that help you, to support you, to create you. So don't say, how am I going to do that? The Spirit says, it's not up to you how you do it. Just start. Start where you are and utilize what you have. Mastery comes in doing, and it's from doing it a lot. And you will see the universe will always conspire a way where there is no way. That's individual, just for you. That's how you see that the universe has unconditional love for you with no conditions. And that's exactly what it looks like. But we're being taught what that is every day. Happy New Year, everyone. And I hope to see you soon. Possibly tomorrow. I'm going to be on tomorrow. All right. Bye.